Hello, I'm Rupert Turton, and welcome to the Business Spotlight interview, where we talk to local business people about their journey. This week, I'm really pleased to say we're joined by Tom Warrender from Wilson Brown Solicitors, who is the partner and head of their non-contentious business unit, and also a commercial property expert. Tom, welcome along.
Hi, thanks for having me. Pleasure to be here.
So I suppose the first question, of course, is just explain a bit about what you and Wilson Brown do, and of course, how long you've been involved in Wilson Brown as well.
Sure. So as a firm, we are a large regional law firm with offices across Northamptonshire and Leicester. We cover pretty much every area of law that you would expect, both for the individual, whether that's moving house or making a will or divorce or what have you, through to commercial aspects as well. And everything in between, really. So I am an equity partner. I sit on our board of management, which is where that head of the very nicely titled, rolls off the tongue, head of non-contentious business unit comes from, which is basically my board role, which means that our residential conveyancing team, our wills and trust team, and our corporate protection team all report into me at board level. But that's purely a managerial point. They're not my areas. And then in the day job, if you like, I'm then a commercial property lawyer. So I've been with the firm for over 18 years now. I train here and now, as I say, equity partner and board member. But yeah, so a mix of the management and BD side and then commercial property law. So plenty of variety anyway.
Yeah. So what's your biggest learning since you've been a partner?
Lots, really. I think the main takeaway is nothing is certain, and expect the unexpected, because I knew for a long time I wanted to be a partner here, and you get offered equity, and that's fantastic, and what an achievement. And then reality sets in, as exciting as it is, and it still is, and it's fantastic to be part of. Then suddenly a pandemic comes along and you think, well, actually every plan we had, all our years of history, everything that makes us a sound, suddenly there's this thing, and everyone's going through it. Every business is facing that challenge. And so you're not alone, but at the same time, wow, so I guess it's that you can have all the plans in the world, which are important, but there's always that kind of unknown that can challenge you, shall we say.
Yeah. And was it always your intention to become a partner?
Yes, I think so. I think it evolves over time. Certainly that was sort of when I said I want to be a lawyer, I envisaged one day I would be a partner at a firm. And I think these things evolve. I've got many friends in law who aren't really bothered about the partner side of things. They don't really want to be involved in management and running a business. They trained as a lawyer. They just want to be a lawyer. And I completely get that. But for me, it was, I love the job I've trained to do. I love the day-to-day client work, but actually that aspect of running a business, of managing others, of all of that extra stuff, it was always something that interested me. So yeah, it was sort of one of those things I aspired to, for sure.
So what have you learned about yourself then during the journey from trainee right through to partner?
Exactly that phrase that you said, really. It is a journey, and it's a journey that doesn't stop, because you're always learning, and there are always new challenges. But then I think that's what I love about it. You do the file work, and the more of that you do and the more expertise you gain, of course, you develop in that way, but there's always new stuff to come along and challenge you. And then you throw in the business ownership thing, and that has its own host of challenges. So I think that's it. It is a journey. It'll continue to be a journey. But with that brings a variety.
Yeah. So did you, when you set out on the journey, did you have a plan? Because it's quite notable with Wilson Brown, particularly with the partners, how involved you all are in the local community. You are very much a community, well, definitely for Kettering, you're very much a community-based business. Was that part of your plan for the journey?
One thing that always strikes me is I'm not from the area originally, and I'd applied for the training contract here, and one of the questions I got asked in my interview was, how do you feel about getting involved in the business development side and promoting the firm? And my honest answer, which to be fair could have gone one or two ways in the interview, was I've not really heard much of the firm. hands up, I'm here because I want a training contract and I've settled in the area. I would like to be here.
Yeah.
But clearly there's a fantastic reputation. I wasn't aware of it coming out of the area. So for me, that's the bit that could have backfired, to be fair. But for me, I'd love to be part of that, so that when I say I'm at Wilson Brown, whether that's as an employee in the day or as a partner now, the people know who I'm talking about. So I think I've always been keen to get involved in that side. You know, the firm's got a great history, as you say, of being involved in the community. The firm has evolved over time, it's grown over time, but we've been keen not to lose sight of what we are, and we are part of the community, and that's, you know, we're proud of that, and it's great to be involved at all different levels across all the areas, and it's something we really take pride in.
Cool. So what does the future look like? What do you see as the main challenges for you and the company moving forward?
I think for us, it's more of the same, being live to the fact that there will always be the unknown that will crop up, but equally, you know, what I've always loved about the firm, even before I was a partner, is it's been steady growth. There's no mad plans for world domination, but at the same time, there has been growth. We're certainly not standing still. I think what's been great is that all of the partners have got ideas, and that's fantastic. And everyone's got a voice, and equally that voice channels down throughout the whole firm. You know, it's not this thing where us partners will lead the business and you will do as we say and you'll listen to us and we're the experts. Everyone across the firm has got a voice, and they can bring that direct to us or via whatever channels. And I think that's brilliant, because it means we're not stuck in, we've always done it that way. We want to evolve. At the same time, we've not put any great pressure on that we must do X, Y, Z by this point. You know, it's a steady plan, but it's worked. So being live to the unknown, but being adaptable, which is what we had to do before, and we'll continue to do so. But at the same time, as I say, keeping hold of those traditions and the roots, continuing to be part of the community, and that's the key for us.
So how does that combine with the changes that you no doubt had to make during COVID, where everyone moved online, everything was done remotely? Do you see that as being part of the way the business develops?
I think what was really quite fantastic about the way the firm adapted was that everyone in the firm, you know, we're coming back to using that phrase journey, but everyone came on that journey with us, because the pandemic, by its very nature, out of nowhere, quite what do we do? We're blessed. We have an amazing in-house ICT team. So in terms of getting everyone set up for working from home, pretty much getting that done overnight, fantastic. So we had that, but equally, you know, we had members of staff willing to use their own equipment at home. And it was a real buy-in from everyone that, look, this is the unknown, but we're in it together. We are a team, and everyone adapted to that. And obviously we had home working, and we've still got that facility. As a firm, we've said, look, we'd like people in more often than they're not. And the logic behind that really is that there's a team working structure. And for more junior people, there's a learning by osmosis. You know, there's so much you can do. You can supervise remotely, but then you don't pick up all of the other stuff around you. So what's sort of, I wouldn't say surprised me, but what's been really good to see is everyone's been on board with that. Actually, most people want to be in. So I think for the law generally, not just Wilson Brown, the law is traditionally very archaic, and it had to move on through the pandemic, through virtual meetings, virtual signatures, all of these different things, electronic signatures, all these things moved on that without a pandemic wouldn't have happened. And that's not a Wilson Brown thing. That is just the law generally. So it evolved very quickly. I think for us as a business, it's using the best of both worlds. You know, technology like this is enabling us to have this meeting. We'll continue with that. But at the same time, sometimes you need the face-to-face. So it's kind of taking on board what we've gained, you know, whether that's technology advances or whatever, but at the same time, doing what's best for us.
Okay. So if it's okay, can I ask you a slightly more personal question?
Yeah, sure.
Who is the first person that comes to mind when you think about success?
Yeah, sure. I would say, where people will cringe and smile at the answer, but I would say David Beckham. And the thing is, you come on this and you're talking to business owners or whatever, and you think, oh, who's going to be the big business inspiration? But the truth is, you know, someone like David Beckham was an inspiration for me growing up, because he wasn't actually, I will say it, he wasn't the most gifted, naturally gifted footballer, but he put in the time in training. He clearly had the dedication, and look at the career he had. And I remember World Cup 98, he got sent off. He got vilified pretty much by the nation, some horrifically so, some not as much, but he took a lot there. And yet he came back from that, went on to captain his country. Yeah. And I think, you know, even from his early days, clearly not comfortable in front of the camera, and then he's confidently giving interviews. And I just think that, for me, you know, clearly he's had a massive success on and off the football field. He's certainly not short of a few quid, but he's done that through perseverance, through commitment, through dedication. And I think, you know, what I take from that is that hard work element of it.
So it's the work ethic and the
absolutely, 100%,
and the investing in yourself, I suppose, isn't it? Get to where he wanted to be, he had to obviously become a great player, but also he had to perfect all the things around being a great player as well, such as giving interviews and all the publicity stuff that goes around being a top footballer.
Absolutely that. And I think, you know, tied to that, I'm sure he could have been a very good footballer. He ended up being an excellent footballer because of that hard work, because there is no shortcut to success, I guess, is the other part I take from it. You know, it is that commitment, the dedication, the constantly turning up. Absolutely.
Yeah. So what is the best advice you would give to an 18-year-old just starting out at the moment?
Believe in yourself, follow your dreams, and don't just expect it to happen. And by that, I mean, I look back at when I said I wanted to be a lawyer, and I was probably early teens, just because I'd seen something on television. I went, oh, that looks interesting. Made a passing comment to my parents, and they said, oh, law, yeah, brilliant, do that. But that was it in terms of their involvement. The rest of it, in terms of how do I get into law, I read it myself. In terms of what qualifications I need and what journey I need to go on, what route to qualification. I read all of that myself. I made it happen. I think, and this is where I sound old, but nowadays there's so much with the internet, with social media, there's so much resource available that if you want to look at how you can get a career in law, it's so easy to find out.
Yeah.
But it doesn't just happen. And I think it's great as an 18-year-old, whether that's me looking back as an 18-year-old or 18-year-old looking now, it's great to say, this is what I want to do. You've still got to go and do it. You know, it's not a tick box exercise. It is going to take a lot of hard work. And that's not just for a career in law. That could be for any career, any 18-year-old looking and saying, that's what I want to do. Okay, fine. Find out how. Get some experience wherever you can, because you might find it's not what you want to do, and better find that out early on than not. I mean, I remember I left school to go to a college to do A-levels. And I remember the head teacher of the school at a parents' evening saying, really to my parents, but obviously I was there, saying, look, he doesn't have to go to college, he can stay here. And my view was that school didn't do A-level law.
Okay.
And I thought, I want to go and do it, because as much as I've said I want to be a lawyer, if I go and do A-level law and I hate it, I'm not spending 3 years doing a degree in that if that's not the career for me. So I made that choice, did the A-level, went on to do the degree. And, you know, I think it was worth it. So I would say, look, have a plan, get experience where you can. You know, it's not set in stone. If you say 18, I'm going to do this career, and you change your mind over time, that's fine.
Yeah.
But if that is the career you're going to stick to, find out what you've got to do and put in the work, because it won't just magically happen for you.
Brilliant. Tom, it's been great talking to you. Before we finish, if anyone wants to talk to you or engage with Wilson Brown, what do they need to do?
They can get in touch direct. All of my details are on the website, so they can find my contact details there, or call me at the office, 01536 410 014. More than happy to have a chat with people. I think the thing we pride ourselves on, not just me, but as a firm, is transparency on fees and the initial free consultation. You know, I'd much rather it's not that stereotypical thing of speak to a lawyer and the clock's running. It's let me talk to you and find out actually what you need, and whether it is me, whether it is something I can help with or the firm can help with, and then we can look at, okay, how are we going to do it? So yeah, by all means, have a look at the website, wilsonbrown.co.uk, and get in touch.
I'll put those details into the description that goes with the video as well. Tom, thanks for your time today. It's been great talking to you, and I look forward to seeing you in the future.
Thanks for having me. Pleasure.